Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the J Moore Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on another J Moore Tech Talk show. I am so glad that you decided to join us. We've got an amazing show for you guys here. And, we give you all the scoop about technology, the trends, what's going on around the world with technology, who's getting hurt, who's getting hacked, and all kinds of things like that. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're here live with us or whether you're watching any other time. It's great to be with you. And remember, we do turn the show into a podcast 24 hours after, so you can always catch that by visiting believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. All right, guys. So this show's title tonight is Tech Turbulence. We've had that before, but legal battles, privacy fears, and innovation waves. We're on series 3. We're on show 34. Wow. All right. So first thing I want to talk about is the closure. X, formerly Twitter, halts operations in Brazil due to judges' content orders, but the platform does remain accessible. So what the heck is this all about? Again, these were censorship orders by Brazilian judge Alexandre de Moraes. X is owned by Elon Musk, claims that Moraes secretly threatened a legal representative of the company with arrest if he did not comply with the content removal orders. Despite the closure, the platform remains accessible, as I said, in Brazil, and Musk criticized Moraes' actions as unconstitutional and condemned the demands for censorship and private information handover. Now, he better watch his step or he's going to be found in contempt of court. That could be a big problem. I don't know why it's a big problem, you're probably saying, but it is a really big problem. And I can tell you that something that you got to be careful of. And I know you're probably saying, John, why, right? Well, the judge can do whatever they want, right? And that's a problem, right? And so, people don't realize what it means to respect the judge. And I think a lot of people think that, it's some hogwash, but really, it's not. You have to respect the judge. And so maybe you're saying to me, hey, John, this is nonsense. Well, it might be nonsense, but you still have to obey the judge's orders, or you could be fined in contempt of court. And so we'll have to keep an eye on what's going on with this, but we'll definitely do that for you guys. Well, Fortnite returns. Yes, Fortnite is back on iPhones and the European Union and globally on Android after a 4-year hiatus due to legal disputes. Yeah, this is a real sore spot for a lot of people, but it looks like Fortnite is winning this battle. And so the Epic Games has relaunched Fortnite on iPhones, as I said, in the European Union and globally on Android devices after the 4-year little sabbatical because of the legal disputes with Apple and Google over the App Store payment guidelines. This return was made possible by the European Union's Digital Markets Act, which enabled Epic to launch its game store in the region despite this Apple continues to block access to Fortnite outside of Europe. So I think, all these companies like, Apple and Google, I think they get a little big for their britches. I really do. I think that's the biggest problem. And I know what you're probably saying. You're probably saying to me, hey, John, like, this is something that a lot of people don't quite get. And the reason I say they don't get it is because it's about the fact that somebody is doing something wrong. Okay? Somebody is doing something wrong. And when I say somebody is doing something wrong, I mean it. I mean, something's doing something wrong. And, a lot of times these small companies don't have the wherewithal, the resources, the money, the people to be able to win these legal battles. Even though they may be truly right with what they're doing, they just don't have the ability to win these legal battles. So I think that's a very big problem for a lot of these organizations that go up with things like digital content, etc. And ladies and gentlemen, the Electronic Protection Act. So OpenAI blocks Iranian group accounts targeting the U.S. election with ChatGPT content. What the heck is this all about? Well, we said before that technology is not good, technology is not bad, right? I've said that multiple times. Is how you choose to apply it. So OpenAI has blocked Iranians group's ChatGPT accounts, as we said, from targeting U.S. election. OpenAI has blocked the accounts linked to an Iranian group, Storm 2035, for using its chat bot to create content intended to influence the U.S. presidential election and other issues. The content included commentary on U.S. election candidates, the conflict in Gaza, and Israel's presence at the Olympics. Despite all these efforts, the operation failed to achieve significant engagement, with most posts receiving little to no interaction. OpenAI continues to monitor for any further attempts to misuse its service. So I think that's a good thing. And I think it's something that OpenAI and anybody else who provides these type of services is going to have to be on the, let's say, watch for it. Because if they don't, then that could be a big problem. And I think it's a little crazy because most people don't understand. And so I think most people don't understand the fact that, we have to use technology responsibly. I think some people don't understand the fact that technology is a tool, just like a weapon, right? They're not good, they're not bad. It's how we choose to use it that makes them so. And so many people don't realize the fact that it's about purpose. It's about knowing what's going on. It's about understanding what's good, what's bad, and doing the right thing for the greater good of all concerned. I mean, I think that's what the world is about. That's the bottom line. And that's what we have to understand. And I know that can be hard for a lot of people, but in the long and the short of it, it definitely is something that most people don't understand. And the reason they don't understand it is because they think that they can do no harm. And so when I say no harm, I mean, it's about how people can make a difference. Okay? How people can make a difference. And so I know what you're probably saying to me. John, how is this even possible? Why are people like this? And I think what it's going to come down to is the fact that a lot of people uh, don't understand the fact that there is still a right and there's still a wrong. Okay, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And if we understand this, then I think the world's going to be a better place for everyone around that we see in our lives. But so many people think that it's about them. And the reason I say it's about them is because they just don't get the fact that we're here to do things for the greater good of all concerned. I mean, that's what the bottom line is, right? All right. And speaking about the greater good, children's safety is at the front here. Court halts the key part of California's children's online safety law, citing free speech concerns. So, what is this all about? Well, there's always so much going on with privacy and exploits and things like that. So, a U.S. Appeals court has blocked a significant part of the California's online safety law for children, ruling that it likely violates free speech rights. The law required businesses to assess and mitigate potential online risks to minors and implement stricter privacy settings. However, the court suggested that less restrictive measures could be used to protect children. As a result, key provisions of the law are now on hold. So I think this is coming down to a lot of politics. That's what I have to tell you it comes down to. And if it comes down to politics, that's really sad because it could be affecting people's safety, right? It could be affecting people's safety. And with affecting people's safety, I think that is a huge problem. Okay. I mean, a very huge problem. And this can be a problem for a lot of people. I mean, a serious problem. Why? Because, you know, everyone thinks that it's somebody's fault. It's this person's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just we've got to take responsibility for who it is that we are, let's say, portraying, right? Or who we're going after. Because I think a lot of people get stuck with the whole premise that things are crazy and they blame everyone. But at the end of the day, it's not that. It's the fact that we're doing the wrong thing. And by doing the wrong thing, I think that is a serious problem. And eventually it's going to bite people. Eventually, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to bite people. Not in a, I'm going to say, a good way. And that's just because of one thing. It's because people think that they can just do what they want to do and that politics can be stronger. And, that's a whole other discussion. But I think at the end of the day, we have to do what's right for everyone. And there's a lot of political control people that think they know what's best. But at the end of the day, they really don't know what's best. They think they know what's best, but they don't know what's best. And if they don't know what's best, then how do they even figure out what's going on? I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's really the biggest things. And I will say that it's going to be worse as we grow. It's going to get worse because when I say get worse, I mean it's going to have a challenge for people. Okay. It's going to be a challenge for people. And I say we've got to be aware of it. We've got to be aware of it. We've got to be aware of it. And you might be saying, hey, John, this might be the right thing. But are we doing things the right way, or are we doing things the wrong way? And I think that's a big problem for a lot of people. They don't get why things are a certain way. And the reason they don't get it, because they think they could do whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, it's not the right thing. It's not the right action that's being taken. Okay? That's what it really comes down to. Okay? It's not the right place. It's not the right venue. People think that just because something is a certain way, that they can just push their way ahead and just do it. But I think it's really hurting a lot of people in the world, especially kids, and now they're getting wrong messages and things like that. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very hard thing. A very, very hard thing. And so when we think about what it means, okay, I think that's hard for a lot of people. And the reason I say it's hard for a lot of people is because they don't get the one concept, which is the fact that we have to do what's good for the greater good of all concerned. Okay? And I know you're probably saying, John, this sounds like nuts. It sounds crazy. But it's actually not as crazy as you think it is. It's exploiting people every single day. Okay? And by exploiting people, more people are getting frustrated with it. More people are getting frustrated with it. And I know that you're probably saying, hey, how do I deal with it? And it comes down to the fact that you need to understand what's going on in life. All right. You need to understand the message. And I think don't get wrapped up in the, how can I say, the minutia of politics. Don't get lost in the minutia of politics. And I think that's a big challenge for a lot of people, because they think they're doing the right thing, but then again, they're not. And the reason they're not is for one reason. You know what that is? That reason is that people don't understand that it's truly about the greater good. But they get lost in this minutia of, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. So hopefully we can figure out this court issue, and we can make things safer, and we can just stop all this nonsense. Space power. So the UK military launches an Earth imaging satellite, Tyche, for enhanced battlefield surveillance. This is absolutely, when I say pretty cool, this is really, really cool. So they're doing this to boost space power. The UK military launched its first dedicated Earth imaging satellite, Tyche, to enhance battlefield surveillance and reconnaissance. And this small spacecraft will orbit for at least 5 years, providing the UK with its first wholly owned imaging capability. And Tyche's launch marks a move toward a greater independence in military intelligence gathering. Now, I think it's great that people are doing these things. My only concern, ladies and gentlemen, is this the right thing? Or is this something that could be a problem? When I say a problem, are people going to get exploited over this? And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is definitely a problem. And when I say a problem, I don't mean that in a way that um, is going to cause people to feel bad. I mean, it's going to actually put a dampener on people because now they're going to have to change their mission. And that might sound like something that is wacky, but at the end of the day, it's not. We have to do what's best for the greater good of all concerned. That's a really big thing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a very, very big thing. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm very concerned about what they're doing. And are they going to potentially exploit with that satellite? I mean, I don't know. Are they going to exploit people with that satellite? Are they going to cause more challenges in the world? I don't know. I really don't know. And I think that comes from the whole big thing of what's going on. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it could be a very, 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 very big problem. And so maybe you're wondering, how does that affect me? How does that affect me as a person, right? How does that affect me? And when I say how does that affect me, I mean, like, what does it mean to me every day? Does it mean something good? Does it mean something bad? Does it mean that I'm doing something wrong? What does it really mean? What does it mean? I think this comes down to a really big change for people. Okay. And the change is, how is this going to make a difference for you in life? How? And I think that's going to come down to a bigger question of, are we doing the right thing in life, or are we exploiting technology in a way that could potentially, I don't know, is it something that's going to harm people? And I think that's the thing that a lot of us need to be concerned about. Is what we're doing going to harm people, or is it going to help people? Okay. That's a very, very big thing that I think a lot of people are not going to quite understand. The reason they're not going to understand it is because it comes down to something that a lot of people just don't realize. Technology is being built. I think technology is great, but I think when we deal with technology in a way that could exploit ourselves and exploit others, that can be a very, 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 very big problem. And the thing is, a lot of people won't realize this problem for, I'm going to tell you, months or maybe even years later. That's the very, very big thing. I think that's a very, very big thing. And I know that it's something that a lot of people won't quite understand. I think it comes down to what people are going to want to do and why people do something a certain way. And if people do something a certain way, then that should change their perception. That should change the reality. That should also change where people are going in life, right? But you might be saying, John, I don't get this. I don't know how this works. But at the end of the day, if we just push things out there to make things seemingly easy, and we're not cognizant of how it affects ourselves and how it affects others, then I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing people a very, very big disservice. A very, very big disservice. And when I say a very, very big disservice, I mean a way that could potentially hurt people in our community. Okay. A way that could hurt people in our community. And that hurt could really change things. All right. When we think about the content crisis, WhatsApp was criticized recently for inadequate measures against more child abuse, image sharing, raising privacy versus safety debates. And I get it. Okay. I get it. Online providers need to be responsible. I mean, they just really, they really do. The Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, which you may or may not know about, has criticized WhatsApp, owned by Meta, for insufficient measures to prevent spread of child sexual abuse imagery. And they're urging Meta to implement stronger protections. And despite WhatsApp's defense of its end-to-end encryption and reporting systems, the IDWF argues that these safeguards are inadequate. And the debate continues over and over. And it's like this never-ending vicious circle about balance, security, privacy, preventing harm to people. Meta's encryption practices remain a big issue in the broader discussion on online safety. But what does it mean to people? Like, when I say what does it mean to people, like, what does it actually mean? I think the biggest thing it means is that when we understand why something is a certain way, then maybe we can understand why people are doing something a certain way, right? Why? And if we cannot understand why they're doing something a certain way, well, then now maybe we've got to be a little smarter about how we're doing things, right? We've got to be a little smarter about how we are doing things. And so maybe you're saying to me, hey, John, like, this doesn't seem like a very, very big deal. But I got to tell you, it definitely is a big deal. And the more that we look into this, the more that we see, what's going on, I think the more that people should understand that we have to know that these social media platforms, we need to start holding them accountable to what it is they're doing, why they're doing certain things. I mean, this is what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to start holding these companies, these different companies, Meta, whether it's TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever they want to call themselves these days. We have to start becoming more involved with what it is that they do. And if we don't like something, I think we've got to say something. And if we don't say something, ladies and gentlemen, then we're fools. We are absolutely fools, because I think we are hurting not only ourselves, but we're hurting the world around us. And that sounds like something that might be, crazy. But at the end of the day, I think it's something that most people would understand. And hopefully, I'm saying hopefully people will know that, by more people getting on board with this bandwagon technique. See, most people are afraid to say things. Do you know why? Because they feel that if they say something, then it's a very, very big deal. And they don't want to be the person that's suddenly involved. They don't want to be the one that stirs up everything, right? That's what it's coming down to. If we can't do that for whatever reason, then I think that we are in a very, very big problem. And as I said to you, this problem is only going to get worse. Unfortunately, gentlemen, it is going to get worse. And I know what you're saying to me, John. It's not such a big deal. It's not affecting me. Well, just because it's not directly affecting you doesn't mean that you shouldn't be worried about it. And, this is a real big one. The Family Feud saga with Elon Musk's estranged daughter disputing his claim about her childhood adding to Musk's controversial record. We already know that Musk has some interesting things. That's all I'm going to say. And Elon Musk's estranged daughter that just pops up out of nowhere, Vivian Jenna Wilson, has refuted his statements about her childhood, calling them entirely fake. Musk had claimed that Wilson, who's transgender, was born gay and slightly autistic, and that she would pick out his clothes and call them fabulous, a depiction Wilson denies, asserting that she never used such terms at that age and that Musk was largely absent during her upbringing. Wilson criticized Musk's portrayal as an inaccurate stereotype and accused him of not understanding her experiences due to his minimal involvement in her life. This dispute adds to Musk's controversial record, as I said, on transgender issues and right-wing politics. Now, we all know that Musk has caused, let's say, he has caused some challenges, right? That is probably one of the biggest things that we can probably all agree to. But the question is why, right? The question is why. And that why comes down to, is it that he doesn't know? Is he trying to do something weird? Is he just looking to try to take over the market share? I mean, what is he really trying to do at the end of the day? And if it comes down to the fact that he's trying to be truthful, great. But I got to be honest with you, I don't think that he is trying to be truthful. I really don't think he's trying to be truthful. And that might be something that you're saying, hey, John, I don't get it, okay? But it comes down to the fact that I know, ladies and gentlemen, that people have to be true to who they are and what they stand for. If they don't, it is going to bring them down. It is going to bring them down. And, you know, just as quickly as they went up, they're going to be brought down. Now, that sounds like crazy, but I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. Absolute truth. Absolute truth. So Instagram, if you like Instagram or not, well, they have a glitch. Instagram permanently deletes some photos due to a technical issue, sparking user concerns over the app-based storage. So I've always said when you put things on social media, you know, you have to back them up. If you don't expect them to be there, or just don't pretend that you ever need them again. So you might have heard the phrase, this story is no longer available. Instagram permanently deletes some photos. Instagram users have received a distressing notification recently informing them that some photos in their story archives were permanently deleted due to a technical issue. The message read, quote, this story is no longer available, and Meta Instagram parent company confirmed that the bug could not be fixed. So that's how, you know, they work. The lost content cannot be restored, which is, you know, par for the course with Meta. Meta has addressed the issue, but noted that the error message will remain visible until July of 2025. And this incident highlights the importance of backing up media outside of the app-based storage. I have to tell you, whether it's Meta, whether it's, you know, any of these platforms, TikTok, if you have a real problem at the end of the day, don't expect help, because they just don't give help. Why? I think it comes down to the fact that they really just don't care. I mean, they just do not care. And I will tell you, it's because it's not a money maker for them. Let me say that again. It is not a money maker for them. And so I know you're probably saying, hey, John, you know, why? Well, first of all, they don't even provide you a phone number. That's number one, okay? And if they don't provide you a phone number, then how the heck are you supposed to get anywhere? That's what I want to know. If they can't provide you a phone number, okay, I got to tell you that it comes down to the fact that people on a daily basis have to understand one thing. You know what that one thing is? That one thing is the fact that you need to be true to yourself. True to yourself. And when I say true to yourself, I mean this because a lot of times we do something because we think it's going to impress somebody, right? And this thing with, you know, social media, and I mean, I've had issues with Facebook, and they really don't fix anything. Like, you want to delete an account, oh, sorry, you just have to leave it that way. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? So they're the perfect example of what I call no support. That's right. I said no support. That's a pretty big thing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a very big thing. Something I feel that at the end of the day is going to hopefully help people to realize that they've got to do things for the right reasons. Okay. They've got to do things for the right reasons. And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to who we are at the end of the day. It comes down to why we're doing things, why something is a certain way. And you might be saying, John, I don't get this. And I get that you don't get it. I perfectly get that. I know, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that, you know, we want to do what's right. Okay. And we want to give service. I mean, I think that's what things come down to. But all these companies have, let's say, misled us up this really bad monkey trail. And I don't have anything about monkeys, but they are taking us off our focus to who we should be, let's say, paying attention to. But we're not. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is one thing. You know what that is? It's the fact that we're being given misinformation. We're being given misinformation. And that misinformation is changing the way our world works. That's a pretty big deal, if you ask me. A very big deal. A deal that I think, unfortunately, is about people that are trying to do the right thing, but then they get misled because somebody else says, oh, this is the way you should be, right? I love it when somebody else tells you how you should be, but they don't even know what it's like because they never even wore your shoes before, right? All right, we got lots more to cover. So, Brainwave Battle, how would you like this? A new type of device, a gadget, call it, is sparking a debate because of privacy issues. This device has the ability to gather your brain waves, and now this could be a very big challenge, especially with Mr. Musk's Neuralink and high-profile things he has, like the sleep masks and many other things. And Colorado has led the way by passing a privacy law that includes brain data, but broader legislation may be needed to address the rapid growth of technology and its associated risks. Now, experts warn that the commodification of brain data combined with minimal protections could lead to significant privacy issues, especially if we're able to learn certain details about people that we didn't even know existed. That's a problem. All right, and Amazon, yes, is facing some big backlash over noise complaints and drones flying low. I mean, it sounds great, right? But they really didn't do the due diligence. And this is all out of Texas. Amazon's drone delivery service in College Station, Texas, is facing some fresh new challenges. As I said, the residents are complaining about the noise, the low flying, and the company has struggled to get its Prime Air program off the ground. And it's seeking the FAA approval to expand its operations, but local feedback is unfortunately putting a kibosh on this right now. Complaints about loud buzzing of the drones, their low flying altitude, have put Amazon to have to promise adjustments, including a potential move to a new site by 2025. And the company, ladies and gentlemen, is also working on a quieter drone model to address these issues. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but all I know is these companies like Amazon, they do what they want to do until they get, warned or until they get fines put on them. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is that it comes down to that. And when I say it comes down to that, I mean it comes down to the fact that people don't understand one big thing. You know what that one thing is? They don't understand, like, the fact that an impact will have on other people. They just care about their bottom line, their money. All right, and Mr. Zuckerberg recently got a private little letter sent to him from a well-known agency, about illicit drug ads on Facebook. So lawmakers have sent a letter to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg expressing concern over the presence of illicit drug ads on Facebook, Instagram, and the bipartisan group highlighted recent reports revealing that Meta's platforms have been used to promote illegal drugs despite ongoing investigations. They've requested detailed responses from Zuckerberg on how Meta plans to address the issue. Meta acknowledged receipt of the letter and plans to respond, emphasizing its commitment to improvement of the enforcements against the content. Now, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they not going to do? I mean, they have to do something at the end of the day, right? And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that people understand that it comes down to who is it we want to be with, right? And I think Meta does everything for money. I mean, we all know this, right? We all know that Meta does things for money. I mean, if you didn't know that, guys, well, shame on you, because that's what Meta does. Meta is a money engine. That's what Meta does. They exist to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they just, I don't know, they just seem to be like a little mischievous in how they do it, and that might sound like something that's very, I don't know, wacky. It might, but at the end of the day, what does it mean? And I think what it means is that people have to start understanding what things are about. And I know you're probably saying to me, hey, John, like, I don't get this. And I think it comes down to the fact that most people, I'm going to say most people now, most people are about a concept to do what's right. But then there are other people that just do things or try to put things under the wayside because like, nobody's going to really worry about it. Until I get a big fine, I'm just not going to worry about it. And yes, AI investment ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt highlights Nvidia as a major AI winner, pointing to its dominance in AI chips. So this could be a very interesting undertaking here. Because of the AI boom during the recent Stanford talk. He noted that tech giants are investing heavily in NVIDIA-based AI infrastructures with costs reaching $300 billion. Schmidt emphasized that NVIDIA's dominance in AI chips is a significant factor in its impressive revenue growth, though he did not provide specific investment advice of where you should put your money. Of course, he didn't do that. And ladies and gentlemen, data breach. Yes, the national public breach exposes social security numbers with long-term risks that are still looming over people and will be for many, many years. Yeah, so the recent breach of the national public data, a background check firm, highlights the severe and persistent risk of data breaches. After months of uncertainty, it has become clear that stolen information, including social security numbers and physical addresses, is now circulating online, and national public data has confirmed the breach, revealing that data may have been compromised starting in late 2023. As the stolen data continues to spread, security experts warned that the full impact, including the potential identity theft and fraud, could now be unfolding, as I said, after years later. That's a really, really, really big problem. And I think we're just going to have to wait and see, what's going on and, why things are going on a certain way. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact of, why are people doing things a certain way? And again, it comes down to money. And it comes down to, resources. That's what it comes down to. And they might not have done the due diligence of what they should have done. They might not have. And the due diligence might be something that seems very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, it's a serious, serious problem. I mean, a really, really serious problem. So that can be a problem for a lot of people. And you might be saying, hey, John, how do I deal with this? So I think the way you deal with it is it's people that need to understand what's going on. And these people, ladies and gentlemen, I feel don't quite get everything, but I think they get the fact that it's about what we're doing in life. Okay. I think that's what they're getting from this. And you might be saying, hey, John, I know that sounds wacky and crazy, but let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, it is life. And this is how things are working. And so now when we talk about the last point I want to talk about on the show, this has been a long show today, pixel vulnerability. Nearly all Google Pixel phones are at risk due to an unpatched flaw in a hidden Android app. This is one of those bad QA moments somebody should have really been planning for. So the flaw underscores the broader challenges of securing hidden system components and the need for swift updates to address such vulnerabilities. The issue remains unresolved, and they say they're working on it, but it's really serious when it comes to mobile security. Wow, we have covered so very much today. I cannot believe how much we have covered, guys. I mean, this is just like, this is when I say amazing. This is absolutely, absolutely amazing. So amazing, ladies and gentlemen, that I feel that people are pretty much getting, let's say, a loop to what's going on in life. And I know you're probably saying to me, "Hey, John, I hear this stuff. How relevant is it?" Well, it's very, very relevant. And the reason I say it's relevant is it something people don't quite understand. It's something they don't understand, but it's something that they could understand. Okay. Uh, that's a challenge for a lot of people. But it's something I think that a lot of people don't understand. And I think a lot of people need to understand what's going on with that. And eventually, more people will, let's say, come on board with it. But unfortunately, gentlemen, they're not going to do it just yet. Why? So it hasn't caused people enough pain. You heard me. It has not caused people enough pain. So people only do things, ladies and gentlemen, for two reasons: to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. Now, so many people I talk to, they want to do this, they want to do that, and it's great, but they don't ever think about the consequences to how that's going to impact our world, themselves and the world. They sometimes think about themselves, but they don't think about how it's going to impact the world. See, that's a very, very big, 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 big problem. And when I say a problem, I mean a problem that could affect a lot of people. I mean, people that maybe didn't understand, what's going on and why things are going a certain way. And this comes down to something very serious. And that comes down to the thing that, ladies and gentlemen, if people would just take a moment, okay, to realize that, your life, what you do in life is important. But if you just take time to understand that, we want to do things for the greater good of all concerned. That's it. We want to do things for the greater good of all concerned. And I know you're saying to me, "Hey, John, it's something that people don't quite get." And I say people don't get it because they have not really reached a plateau yet. Okay. That plateau comes down to the fact that we as people need to understand our reason, our rationale. Okay. That's a lot, guys. And everything that's done in this world, everything, it comes down to something very, very interesting. You know what that is? It comes down to the fact that people in our world have to understand that everything we do comes down to a vision, comes down to a reality. Okay? That's what it comes down to. If we understand that, ladies and gentlemen, if we understand that, we are halfway there. Let me say that again. We are halfway there. So, you mean if I just take time to realize what's going on, then I can make a change in my life? Absolutely. But too many people are in a rush to do things. They're in a rush to do things. And that rush might be a big, big challenge because they think they're going to just get so much money, but they haven't really looked at the greater picture. They haven't looked at the greater picture. And that greater picture, ladies and gentlemen, is the key to unlocking success. The key to unlocking success. Well, guys, we covered a lot here today. I hope you guys have really enjoyed our talk about some of the latest things that hopefully, if you weren't aware of, now you know what's going on, and maybe you can appreciate some of the things that are going on. Tech turbulence, legal battles, privacy fears, and innovation waves. They are moving through our universe, whether you like them or you don't. It's important to be aware of these things so you can either prepare for them or you know how to get involved with them if it's something that you're interested in. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, night, weekend, wherever you're from. And I'm going to see you guys next week. By the way, that's going to be our last show for August, and then we'll be in September. I can't believe that. All right, guys, have yourself a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you guys, next week. That's the 30th, which is our last Friday of August. Have yourself a fantastic rest of the night.